Success, as I have told you time and time again, does not bend for the man who quits. It does not show itself to the man who walks away from his own decisions. It bows only to the individual who forces himself to continue, not when it's convenient, not when it's simple, but when it is most difficult, when every part of him wants to give up. Because true persistence is not an act of ease. It is a deliberate and violent overthrow of the weak self. It is the most noble form of self-discipline, the refusal to let circumstances decide who you are. Now, I want you to listen carefully. The great test of your life is not whether you can get started, it is whether you will keep going when everything becomes uncertain. That is the line where most men stop. They call it burnout, they call it wisdom, they call it timing. But in truth, it is nothing more than surrender. And if you surrender once, you will surrender again. You are building a relationship with resistance. You are training your mind to interpret struggle as a signal to stop rather than a sign to press forward. What you do when you don't feel like continuing, that's the real measurement of your potential. That's the dividing line between those who say they want something and those who are willing to prove it. The proof isn't found in your plan. It's not in your ambition. It's in your movement. Do you take the next step when the feeling is gone? Do you carry the vision when it gets heavy? Do you remain committed even when no one is watching? You cannot afford to live by emotion. You cannot afford to wait for conditions. The man who waits is a man who wastes. And the man who wastes time, energy, and discipline for the sake of temporary comfort loses the very thing that would have given his life power. Your life becomes power only when it is controlled by principle, not feeling. And the principle is this: you made a decision, and now you must honor it regardless of how long it takes, how difficult it feels, or how quiet it gets. You may say, I'm tired. You may say, nothing is working. But I ask you this, how do you measure progress? Do you measure it only by results? Do you measure it only by outcomes? Because if so, you will always stop when the result delays.